If I could have a button to press and big tech would evaporate, I wouldn't press it. On the whole, we are net gainers from big tech. Ecosystems, high-paying jobs, incredible prosperity. The stock market has largely been driven by these firms. The problem is with the word net, and that is pesticides are a net good for society. Fossil fuels are a net good for society, but we still have an FDA and an EPA. And the difference with big tech is that despite the fact they're net good, we have no regulation on the externalities. Yeah, should we have big tech? Should we have social media? Sure. But should it be age-gated? When Meta has all this internal research showing a spike in self-harm and an absolute barrage on the self-esteem of girls, and they ignore it, and there aren't any elected representatives to regulate them or put in place age-gating. And quite frankly, I've gotten wealthy from big tech. Majority of my stocks are in big tech. We're net gainers from pesticides and fossil fuels. We should be net gainers from big tech and also recognize there's some externalities here. The emissions from fossil fuels, carbon, the emissions from pesticides, cancer, the emissions from big tech is rage and a coarsening of our discourse. And we should be able to regulate and not screen all of that out, but screen a lot of it out. So to a certain extent, the failures around our inability to regulate big tech is not the failure of the CEOs of these companies. CEOs will always do what gets their stock up another dollar. If we're waiting on the better angels of Mark Zuckerberg to show up, don't hold your breath. We have failed as voters to put in place a representative government that has the domain expertise to understand these technologies and has the backbone to push back on the amount of money washing over DC and do its best for the Commonwealth. They know how bad this stuff is for kids, and yet we can't seem to figure out a way to age-gate it. Do I have resentment and a personal disdain for a guy who's cutting off aid to HIV-positive mothers who's the wealthiest man in the world? Yeah, I don't think he's a great role model for young men. I do have resentment and disdain for these CEOs. But like I said, I think the real culprits here are voters who have failed to figure out a way to put in office people who will regulate this industry.